Welcome back to my channel, or if you're brand new, welcome. I'm Darlene. I'm going to take you along with me today as I fix myself some soup using mostly leftovers. So let's get to it. Well, first I had to show you what it looks like outside. Snow. Yep, snow. Okay, I'm going to start out with some onions. This onion was already in the refrigerator. Half of it had been used. And so I just cut a couple of slices off of it, and I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces. The part in the middle of the onion is soft because I think the refrigerator is too cold. But it will be okay. Like I said, this is mostly leftovers today. So you hear the sound of a glass cutting board. I love this glass cutting board. It used to belong to my mom, and I inherited it after she passed away. I like it because it doesn't cut into like wood. You don't get stuff down in crevices, and it's just easier to keep clean, and it works splendidly. 2 slices of onion. I'm just kind of making this recipe up as I go along, so it will be interesting to see what it turns out to be. My intention was for it to be tomato soup with just a few things added to it, like onion and garlic, and we'll see. Okay, I'm going to put this in my my little cast iron pan. I need to spend some time redoing this pan so that it doesn't stick as much, re-seasoning it, but I'll get around to it one of these times. Until then, it still works. Okay, my next task here. I had a couple of ears of corn in the refrigerator. Okay, they were purchased fresh like this. Well, I don't know how fresh, from the grocery store, however fresh it is when they're in the store. And then they were tossed into the freezer, just in this package they came in the store. And then they were thawed out and put in the refrigerator. They needed to be used up while they were still good. So I cooked them, I pre-cooked them. I cooked them for 3 minutes in the microwave, which seemed to be just about perfect. And now, as you see, I'm cutting the kernels off of the cob. And I know 2 ears of corn is going to be a little more than I really need for this concoction that I'm making. But it'll work. It needs to get eaten up, so we're cutting away. And for store-bought corn, it's pretty good. I can't complain too much. I've tried to grow my own corn for several years, and I just don't have much luck growing corn. When I was growing up, my daddy always grew nice corn. Mom always had a lot of corn to put up. She usually canned it, if I remember. Well, it went in the freezer, too. Canned corn and frozen corn. Yeah. One thing I remember, after the corn was blanched, we cut the corn off the cob, and that was fresh corn right out of the field, blanched for, I don't know, a minute or so, and then cut off the cob was absolutely the best. And, of course, eating it on the cob was even better. But this is store-bought, store-purchased corn, and I know probably doesn't have much nutrition. Like my hubby always says, it comes out the same way it went in, just on the other end. He's funny. Well, corn's all cut up. Now I'm going to fry up the onions. I like the sound of the sizzle, don't you? Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. I started out with, I put a little bit of olive oil in there just so that the onions didn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And then I had the heat on high, but now I turned the heat down, and I'm going to add some garlic powder. Not a lot, just enough. We get that mixed in with it. And then I added just a little bit of, like a handful, small handful of flour, so that whatever this ends up being, it has some thickness to it. I kind of shove that around in there so that it doesn't make any lumps. Just adds a little bit of body to everything. It makes it taste richer. Sticks to the stirrer that I'm using. And then I am going to add, this is leftover. It was from some tomato soup that I had, that I had more tomato than I needed for my soup. So I stuck that in a container in the freezer, and then you can see I had one little chunk there that was still frozen. But not a lot of tomato. So I was thinking this was going to be soup, but I don't know, it's going to be kind of thick. It's more going to end up a little more like a casserole, I think. If it was just straight tomato soup, hubby wouldn't eat any of it. Okay, I'm putting in a little bit of baking soda, and a little bit of salt. That's probably about a pinch, a little less than a pinch actually, and a little bit of milk. We usually get, it's just homogenized milk, whole milk though, from the grocery store. We don't have a cow, and we don't even know anybody with a cow. I know some people that raise cattle, but they don't have any milk cows. I grew up on raw milk. I really kind of prefer it, but it's been a while since I've eaten any, or drank, I should say, any raw milk. And I know it's better for you than the store-bought stuff. But so we're using up all this tomato. And I picked some basil off of the top of my basil plant, kind of tearing it into little pieces and putting it in there. Obviously the basil is not left over, but it was fresh right off of my plant. And then all the corn that you saw me take off of the cob, it's all going to go in there. Like I said, I thought it was going to make a soup, but this is ending up a little more like a casserole. That's okay, it's going to be good. And interestingly enough, my husband doesn't like tomato soup. He won't eat tomato soup. So I thought I was going to have this all to myself. But but he does like things made with tomato sauce, like spaghetti and casseroles and stuff. When he came in, and he actually ate about half of this, so I was thinking it was all for me, but it wasn't. I had to share, and that's perfectly okay. When I was eating it, I did notice that I probably could have put a little more salt in it, but if I had done that, hubby would have complained that it was too salty, so that's okay. I didn't need more salt anyway. Although the last time I had blood work done, my sodium levels were a little bit low. So doctor told me she said she doesn't usually have to tell this to anyone, but eat more salt. So there it is in its completion. And yep, every last bit of it got eaten. Well, I would show you a picture of me taking a bite of it, but you know what? I ate it all before I thought about that. Well, I didn't eat it all. I ate half of it. My hubby ate the other half. So between the two of us, we consumed the whole thing, and it was good. I wouldn't say it was spectacular, but it was quite good. It was filling and a nice lunch. So for supper tonight, I got a slab of fish out of the freezer, and I'm going to have myself some fish and some leftover hamburger from some taco bowls my husband made yesterday. I should stick a picture of those taco bowls in here, shouldn't I? He did a wonderful job. It had lettuce and cheese and olives, hamburger, and hot sauce. Oh, yum. I had actually formed the bowls for him earlier just by taking tortilla shells and wrapping them around a bowl and putting them in the oven until they got crispy so that it turned into a bowl. You can do a YouTube search on how to make taco bowls and learn how to do that. So yes, the taco bowls were good too. Well, I think this about concludes today's video. If this was your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when I put out a new video. And if you're one of my regular watchers, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. Oh, my nose itches, goodness. So I'm going to sit here in my easy chair this afternoon and do a little bit of computer work and watch some YouTube videos and maybe a movie. We'll see. I think today's Friday. I believe today's Friday. Being retired, I lose track of what day it is. The only thing that keeps me on track of knowing what day it is church on Sunday and doctor's appointments in the middle of the week. And we canceled this week's doctor appointment because of the snow. We just didn't want to drive in the snow. So, yes, those of you who are wanting updates about my legs, they're still not healed, but we're working on it. And I go every week to Walla Walla to the doctor, the wound specialist. Just the nurses one week and the specialist every other week. And they keep close track of it, and then hubby changes my bandages on my legs every day. And they're getting smaller. We've seen the surgeon that would do grafting. We've seen him twice now, and he still wants to wait and see how they do. So we're still doing the waiting game. Yes, it's been a long time, but that's life, I guess. I want to thank everybody who's continued to pray for me. I appreciate the prayers. Well, I'm going to conclude this video. And you know what I always say at the end. Hold tight to God's hand as He holds tight to yours. He won't let go, so you don't let go either. Let His love and blessings and warmth and comfort surround you and fill your whole being. And I will see you on my next video. Take care.